What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Varlamore only Ironman series. Last time we left off at the crab with some pitiful looking stats, and now we are looking powerful. We got the rune sim on, we got the red spiky bams on, we got the full mixed hide set, and this is a little disappointing. There's no rune helmets that I can really get or dragon helmets that I can get right now, but still, we are kitted, man. We are ready to start Slayer, and I got my inventory all set up. We have a games necklace that we're going to use to teleport to Turiel. We got the enhanced Quetzal whistle to teleport right back. We've got some butterfly potions, attack potions, strength potions, prayer potions, and a little bit of food. Not that any of the monsters Turiel can give us are going to be that hard, but it feels nice to have a full inventory of supplies ready to do some combat for once. So yeah, just real quick, for anyone who hasn't seen my skill exceptions video, I think that was episode 4. It was called Exceptional. I would go watch that, but just to give you a quick recap on the exceptions I made for Slayer, there's no way to train Slayer in Varlamore, purely. There's no Slayer Master. There's no way to get XP in this other than lamping it. And at the beginning of this series, I said, I'm not going to do any lamping. I want this to be a casual fun series. So what I decided to do is use Turiel as my Slayer Master, using a games necklace to teleport right to him, and then teleport right back to Varlamore. And then when he gives me a task, if I can do it in Varlamore, I'll be able to pick up all the drops the monsters give. If I have to do it outside of Varlamore, I'm going to leave all the drops on the ground. And because he doesn't give me any Slayer points, I won't be able to buy anything from the Slayer Reward Shop, and I'm forbidden from spending GP at the Slayer Supply Shop. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go on to Birthorpe and get our first Slayer task. Alright, Turiel, here we go. What do we got first? Spiders. Okay. So when I was figuring out what Slayer Master to use, I made a spreadsheet that tracked all of the tasks that they could give me and whether or not I can do it in Varlamore. And spiders looks like I can do in Varlamore. I just gotta figure out where. Okay, I found some giant spiders here in the Gloomthorn Trail. Looks like there's about 3 of them right here. There we go. We are on our way to 48 Slayer, and that is the goal right now. 48. We just want to be able to get the Slayer level required for Perilous Moons, and then we can come back to this grind later to get, I think it's 76 to be able to kill Custodia Stalkers. So yeah, I will see you when something interesting happens, I guess. Alright, first ever Slayer level 2, and we're about to finish this task. Just need one more spider and we can get back to Turiel. Alright, there we go. Task done. Let's get on back to Birthorpe and see what our next one is. Alright, Turiel, cows. I can do that one, and I know exactly where to go for this. So right here next to the Fortis farm, there's all these buffaloes, which are essentially Varlamore's version of cows. See, I can get Slayer XP from these guys. And they're at level 9, so we're going to be getting a little bit more XP from these guys than we were with the spiders. I just got a wolf task, which is actually one of the best tasks I can get. There are these level 64 wolves right here in the Gloomthorn Trail where we're killing spiders. And they have no melee defenses, so they're going to be easy to hit. A lot of hit points, so they're going to give me a lot of XP, not a lot of running around between kills, and a whole lot of Slayer XP. Look at that. That's really nice. Turiel was nice to us again and gave us another cows task, so we're just going to keep on with these Varlamore tasks. Okay, this is an interesting one. We got Ice Fiends. Now, I believe there is a place that I can kill Ice Fiends in Varlamore. Let's see if that is true. Alright, if you remember from the early Hunter episodes, up here is where I was catching those ice butterflies, the snowy nights and such. Gonna untag all of these. Yes, okay. There are the Ice Fiends. So this is another task that we can do in Varlamore. Man, we are on a roll. Okay, we got a birds task. This is another one that I can definitely do on Varlamore. Not going to get me a lot of XP because birds are like level 2, 3, but yeah, I think there are some birds here, but I wonder if chickens qualify as birds for this. Yep, chickens are birds apparently. Newsflash, who knew? But yeah, this will be the best place for me to kill them because there's just so many around. It's going to be such a quick task. Alright, it was bound to happen sometime. Cow fights. A task we definitely cannot do in Varlamore. And I have no Slayer points, so I cannot skip it or block it. I just have to do it, unfortunately. Alright, I gotta go make my way to the cow fights. Okay, we got another task that we cannot do in Varlamore. Cave slimes. And I've already used my Lumbridge home telly, so I guess we are just going to take the Quetzal to Varrock and run all the way there. Yeah, that's unfortunately probably the best way to get to the cave. Alright, let's go do it. Okay, bats I know I can do. I know there's a whole bunch around the Clone Trail with the wolves and spiders. Okay, there's not a whole lot of giant bats around here, but there are some, so this task is doable, although it's going to be kind of slow. Okay, zombies. Believe it or not, there are no zombies in Varlamore at all. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I scoured the map, I scoured the wiki. I don't think there's any zombies I can kill at this point. So I gotta figure out a good place to kill them. I guess what it would be is probably Varrock Sewers. I mean, super close to the Quetzal, so might as well do it there. Here's one we haven't had before, scorpions. I know that there's a whole bunch of them by the Colossal Worm that I had to run through while doing mining. Yep, scorpions. Awesome, another one doable in Varlamore. So Turiel has given me a rat task, and I know from when I did Druidic Ritual that there are a bunch of giant rats down here, kind of around the Mistrock mine. The other thing that I just thought of is, see this little symbol that tells me what task I'm on? This kind of looks like a jerboa tail, and that reminded me that I have these hunter spears here. So I'm going to try a little bit of hybrid and just see what these hunter spears do for me. Okay, they are, it looks like 6 tick? Is that what they are? 5 tick. Okay. This is actually kind of cool. I mean, with this prayer on, I'm hitting 5s every time. So yeah, I think I might carry these around with me and try these out. So this one's kind of disappointing. Cave crawlers do exist in Varlamore. However, they are in the ice ruins that the Moxiotel boss is in, and I can't access that until I complete Heart of Darkness, which of course I need 48 Slayer for. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do this outside of Varlamore as well. But once I hit 48 and I continue on the grind to 76 Slayer, I will be able to do that task, so it's not all bad. Alright, we just hit Slayer level 30. It finally feels like I'm getting somewhere. I can feel level 48 approaching, man. Alright, I forgot that these guys poison. So I'm going to try something risky here, so I don't have to run all the way back. There we go. Hopefully that's enough. Yes, okay, get me out of here. Alright, we got bears. That one I am almost positive we can do. And I think this is another monster I had to kill in Druidic Ritual. I think there are some on the west coast of Alderaan. Okay, found the bears. There's not that many of them, but hey, at least they're on Varlamore. Yep, goblins. There's another one that we cannot do on Varlamore. Well, at least it's a really easy one to do. And I know exactly where I need to go to do it. Alright, I just completed my 50th task, so I want to let you know where I am right now. 36 Slayer. Let's get our next task right now. Dogs. Alright, we're going to Artie. Yeah, unfortunately, the majority of the tasks that Turiel assigns me cannot be done in Varlamore, so there's a lot of non-Varlamore tasks that I'm just sort of leaving off camera, and I'm just sort of giving you the highlights. But yeah, 50 tasks done. 36 Slayer, we're on our way. 48 is within our sights. I finally ran out of the games necklaces I had made earlier, so we're just doing a quick little restock here of 13. It's really easy to make these because now that I have 40 smithing, 40 mining, I can get gold no problem. I can steal these sapphires from the gem stall in the center of Fortis. And the last piece of the puzzle, cosmic runes, are available at the Tau Clan rune shop. So I basically have an infinite amount of these, and I will never run out over the course of this Slayer grinds. Oh man, there we go, 40 Slayer. We are so close, I can taste it. Oh, I cannot wait to start doing some real PVM after we get 48 Slayer. 45 Slayer, only 3 levels away. Oh, this is getting so tedious as the XP required for the next level gets higher, because this is just such a low XP per hour training method, but we're almost there. Alright, this is going to be the last Slayer task that we get before 48. We are at 47, we are only 64 XP left of 48. Come on, hopefully this is a Varlamore task. That would be very fitting. Beautiful! Ice Fiends! That I can do in Varlamore. So let's go kill a couple Ice Fiends and get that level. Alright, it has been a long time coming. It's been a tedious grind, but we are done with the first leg of the Slayer grind. 48 Slayer. And he's second now. Last kill. Wow, 48. That took a while, but we are finally done. 48 Slayer, and you know what that means. There are now 2 quests that we can do. There is the Heart of Darkness quest. We have all the requirements for, and this unlocks the Moxliotl boss. It unlocks Frost Naguas, which is going to give us some of the gear we need for Perilous Moons. And speaking of Perilous Moons, we also now have the Slayer level to do it. We do need a couple of other skill requirements for that, but that can come later. For now, I think what we're going to do is get all set to do the Heart of Darkness. Okay, I've got everything I need. Got a whole bunch of food. I got Black Warlock and Ruby Harvest to boost my melee stats, and I've got a bunch of moss for prayer. I think that's all we're gonna need. So let's start the quest and get one step closer to a Moxliotl. This is the first time I've been over in this area since episode 1, where I unceremoniously lost my hardcore status to all these guys who just piled me in this multi-combat zone. But look at me now. They're scared of me. They don't want to mess with me. Alright, first fight of the quest. These guys shouldn't be too much trouble. Oh, there's more? I forgot how many fights there are in this quest. Oh, wait, what? I had to protect her? Oh, that sucks. Alright, let me try again. You know what? I did not realize that I could actually heal the prince. Okay, this is going to be way easier than I thought. Okay, that was a little bit more hectic than I originally anticipated, but I think we got this in the bag. Is that it? I think it's it. Nice. Trial 1 complete. Alright, I've replenished all my stats, got my strength potions refilled, got a whole bunch more prayer, a whole bunch more food. I think I'm ready for the 4th trial now. Ooh, okay. I gotta learn the timing on that. Alright, that's pretty easy. Ooh, 20. I don't think I've hit a 20 before. That's sweet. I guess, yeah, I'm level 67 strength now after all that Slayer, so my max hit should finally be climbing up to some decent numbers. Alright, so that was not too bad at all, I don't think. What is next? Wrapping up the trials. Next, we gotta go dress up like an emissary, I think. Look at me, I'm looking kind of scary in this. You know, I wish these robes gave prayer bonus, like monk's robes or something like that. That would be like a great prayer bonus option, but unfortunately we can't have everything we want. Alright, now we're going to enter the ruins for the first time on this account. Nice. This place is going to contain a lot of great things for me. The Naguas, the frost jellies, frost crabs all have pretty interesting drops, including the Rune Fullhelm. Oh, speaking of. Oh, check out the frost crabs. Nice. Oh, shit. Okay, I gotta maybe pay a little bit more attention as I'm doing this. Check this out, man. This is it. This is gonna be our first time facing the Moxliotl boss. You know, I forgot to bring the rune mace with me here, so we're just going to have to go with the rune sim and be extra on our toes about this. I've done this boss a whole bunch of times on my main, trying to get the pet, so if it's the same as normal, I should not have any problems here. This is interesting. These ice pools are sort of damaging me instantly, whereas I think in the normal boss, you have a tick to react to these, or at least a couple ticks. So how do I, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to protect from magic at this boss. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I'm messing up real bad right now. Okay, you know what? Just calm down. It's gonna be okay. You can do this. You've done this a million times. You're way weaker than you are on your main, but you can still do it. Okay, I think we're okay. As long as I don't get killed here. Ooh, okay. 15 HP. I think I gotta abandon this, unfortunately. Oh, well, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. I remembered that I actually have to protect from magic and not melee at this boss. Probably should have read the wiki, but you know, whatever. We'll get it done. You know what? I think I want to actually be prepared this time, properly, for this boss. So, let's pick up the rune mace, our best in slot weapon against Moxiato, at least until we get the glacial Timotli. But yeah, so we've got our prayer stocked back up. Actually, I'm going to run to the altar that's around here. Yeah, I'm going to run to the altar, restore my prayer, get back over to the dungeon. I think this COD, even though it only heals 7 hit points, will be enough to get me through. And I got plenty of moss for prayer, so we should be able to just do it this time. Okay, back at the gate, got the rune mace. I've got my quick prayers set up properly now. And I think I'm going to try to just have my prayer on the entire time. Hopefully it doesn't drain too fast, but we will see. Let's get in there and get him. Okay, I've got my footing now. I remember how this boss works. It's really not that bad, even with just a rune mace. Alright, our first kill at this boss is coming up. I don't remember if we get any loot for killing the quest version of this boss, but I hope we do. Can we see a rune full helm? Oh, okay. We don't get loot. Oh well. Well, when we do the real version of the boss, then we'll be able to look forward to some loot. But until then, we gotta finish up this quest. Alright, Heart of Darkness is done. Let's see what kind of levels we get from this. No levels. Okay, well, we got some good XP, and most importantly, we finally unlocked the Moxiato boss. So now what I need to do, I have a couple of goals that I need to accomplish before diving into Perilous Moons. So while I prep some Ruby Harvest for the Moxiato grind, I'm going to talk you through our next goals. Now that we have 48 Slayer, we've done the Heart of Darkness quest and unlocked Frost Naguas. But we also now have the ability to do the Perilous Moons quest, and obviously that is the thing we want to get to the most. We want to get to the point where we can grind out Perilous Moons and get all of that best in slot Varlamore gear. But before we do that, we've got to do a couple of things. One is we've got to grind out the Moxiato boss. That boss drops the Glacial Timotli, of course, which is the ice boppers. That's the best crush weapon that I can use for Blood Moon at this time. Rune Plate Legs is also going to be really good. Defense bonuses for Perilous Moons, which favors high defense. And then the Pendant of Eights, I do really want. That's going to just be a lot easier of a teleport around the game and a lot easier to recharge than the Quetzal Whistle. Then, after we complete the Moxiato grind, there's a couple of skills we have to train for Perilous Moons. One is we need to get 20 fishing. That's a hard requirement to do the quest. We also need pretty high cooking and herbivore levels to make the food and potions that you can make inside of Perilous Moons worth it. The wiki recommends 55 herbivore, so I'm going to get to 55, and then I'm also going to get 55 cooking as well. And then, last but not least, we're going to do the Perilous Moons quest, and then we will be ready to grind. We are ready to start the Moxiato grind. I've got all my supplies ready. I've got my rude mace looking powerful. Let's get in there and get that loot. Okay, that kill was much better. Oh, no way. Alright. Rune plate body, not what we were looking for. Kinda wish we had the plate legs, but pendant of 8 acquired? Oh my god. I gotta leave though. I gotta leave. This took all my supplies, so yeah, 2 kills a trip basically. It seems like this is a grind that I can do. I'm gonna stick with it and kill this boss, and we are gonna get all the drops from it. Alright, come on, let's get this last kill. Alright, come on, let's finish this guy up. There we go. Ooh, rune plate legs. Nice. Alright, we've got our destined slot legs for moons already. And that kill was much better, actually. It went a lot smoother, so I might be able to squeeze in 3 kills this trip. I decided to take a little AFK fishing break while I ate my lunch, and it was so easy. Just 2 levels, we got to level 20. Oh my god. We got it. Oh my god, we got so spooned on that. Oh man, get me out of here. I almost missed the clip too. I wasn't paying attention. Holy crap, guys. We got him. Look at that. Glacial Timotli. Oh. Wow, I can't believe Amoxicillin is done. 37 KC. That is so nice, man. Oh, okay, so now that we've got those, the next thing that we need to do is get the stats that we need for Perilous Moons. 55 cooking, shouldn't be too hard. There's actually a method where you can pick up sweet corn in Kastori and cook that on a range nearby. The wiki says it's like 70k XP an hour or something like that. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I've got all this stacked up that I've farmed over the past few months. So I'm going to start with this and then just pick up the sweet corn in Kastori and cook it until I get to 55. And then for herb lore, we had a lot of herbs from the hunter grind and from the early game that we got through farming and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really hoping all of this can get me to 55. And if not, I'm gonna have to find a way to make that happen. Okay, this is the last of the sweet corn. Just a couple more and we will get to 55 cooking. So now what we gotta do is we gotta work on herb lore. We're at 34 right now, and we've got a bunch of herbs already in the bank. Not a whole lot of secondaries, so let's just take a peek and see what we're working with. Okay, here are the herbs I got. We got 110 Marintils. We gotta farm unicorn horns to be able to use those. Put some unicorns on Alderan. I mean, it'll take a while, but it's basically free XP. Terramin. So I'm in a little bit of a bind because I can make strength potions with these limpwort roots. However, I really want to save as many of these limpwort roots as I can manage for 55 when I can make super strength potions. So I'm going to try not to use these Terramins. Highlander, this is, I think I'm going to start with this. This is the easiest potion I can make is energy potions. They're also pretty useful. And that's just chocolate dust. And Harlander, so I might start by going to the food store in Civitas de la Fortis, buying a bunch of chocolate bars and just making all of these, see what level that gets me to. I also have 166 Renards and 114 Snake Grass that I got just from farming, so a whole bunch of prayer potions. I can make those. Ear leaf, can't use. Need eyes of Newt. Can't get those until Perilous Moons. Although, maybe I can start the quest to get to Camdozel. I keep saying Camdozel. It's Camtorum. Get to Camtorum where I can buy eyes of Newt and then make these, get the Herbivore level before actually going into the Moons dungeon. Quorums, can't use them. Canadine, can't use them. That's pretty much what we're working with. So, I'm gonna start with the Harlanders, then go to the Renars, and then if I need to, we might start Perilous Moons quest so that I can use these earrings. So, that's the plan. Okay, I'm coming down to the end of the prayer potions now. This is going to be the last 3. I did not make it to 55 as I kind of thought I would. We made it to, 45 Herblore, but it's not really even close to our goal. I have a bunch of Marintils. I could try to farm Unicorn Horns, and I really don't want to use these Terramins. Can't really use Quorms, can't really use Cadentines. The Irits, you know, if I did the quest and got Eyes of Newt, I could use them, but it might not get me to 55. Yeah, I can make super attacks and super anti-poisons now, but I just don't think the amount of Irits I have is going to get me to 55, so actually, I can make Moonlight Potions now. Let me look into this. Okay, so Moonlight Potions. So the way this potion works is it gives me a strength boost equivalent to the potion I had the level to make. So if I have 55 Herblore, it'll basically behave like a super strength. And it behaves like a super attack at 45, which I have. Defense, I'm not really worried about. Not getting to 66. So, let's see. This might be the only reason I need 55, is for it to behave like a super strength. So if I'm 45 now, they'll give me a boost of 9, which is, I guess, a regular strength potion. That's what that boosts. And if I'm 55, it boosts 15. Okay, that is literally the only difference. In that case, I can just bring with me some Black Warlock Butterfly Potions, which I think that boosts basically 1 point less than a super strength. So if I am 60 something, okay, 13, yeah, boost of 13. So it's a little bit less than a super strength, but that's totally fine. So I can stop Herblore right here. This is a really big farming level coming up right here. 68 farming. I can now grow palm trees. That is so important. I can now actually plant this seedling, and whenever this grows, I can plant this right here, and we will have a reliable source of coconuts, which doesn't sound like much, but I do need coconuts to be able to protect magic trees, and I have actually a decent amount of magic seeds. So once I start racking up these coconuts and I get to level 75 farming and I can plant magic trees, we are going to get some big XP. And that is going to do it for this episode. We made a lot of great progress. We got 48 Slayer, we took on the Amoxicillin boss, got all the drops we need. And next episode, we're going to do the Perilous Moons quest and start our grind for the best gear in Varlamore. I will see you then.